My name is Grant Browning, and I'm the founder of one of Toronto's largest Caribbean media groups. With over 20 years of branding and marketing, you can guarantee that I've met some pretty amazing people. My biggest pet peeve is hearing people refer to successful entrepreneurs as overnight successes. But the truth is, there are no overnight successes, just entrepreneurs. Real entrepreneurs with big dreams and a desire to make a difference. They're willing to overcome all the odds just for a chance to taste success. That's exactly what this show is about. Business, success, strategies, the dreams, the struggles, and the victories. We're here to pack a hard punch and knock our dreams into reality by bringing you real stories and experiences right here on The Gloves Are Off. Welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off. My name is Grant Browning, and I'm the CEO and founder of Carib 101 Media Group. And today we have a very special guest from Richmond Hill. We have Armin Shafee, and I said it right?
Yes.
He has an incredible story. His near-death experience has led him to realize his secrets of living a fulfilled life. And so he started his journey of learning all about human behavior, psychology, and patterns so that he can change his own habits. So I think he got bad habits.
Doesn't everyone?
He's an award-winning public speaker, the official peak performance coach of the largest sales team in Canada. Nice. For Combined Insurance, certified speaker trainer, and is the founder of the Elite Speakers Academy. Today we are actually going to learn about how to be reborn from a life-altering experience. So I hope you guys stay through the whole edition today. You guys can chime in live if you want, 647-931-4701 to get on the conversation. And thanks so much for being a guest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I've been looking forward to this because your story is intriguing. So why don't you first let everybody know kind of where you came from and who you are?
Cool. Yeah. Before I start, would you want me to? I want everyone in my network to be able to see this as well. Can we do that now?
Absolutely.
Can we? So, all my good friends out there, I just wanted to share this so that all my network could also know that we're live right now.
I think Chelsea's laughing. I think we need to really get you a mic because.
Should I speak louder?
No. She's laughing because she's like, she can hear everything that we're talking about, right? So,
oh, I see.
So, guys, make sure you hit the hearts and the likes. Please share it out. Also, if you guys want to chime in, 647-931-4701. And I'm hoping that I can get through the whole show with actually speaking properly today. It's like tongue twister today.
No problem.
You got it? You good?
I haven't got it yet. So tell you what, whenever it is up, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, when we go to break, you can actually share
perfect.
it. Yeah.
You know what? That's even better. So repeat the question for me, my man.
Okay,
please.
so why don't you tell everybody who Armin is and where you came from first?
Where did I come from? So my mother, that's where I came from. She is a wonderful woman. In terms of who I am, well, my name's Armin Shafee. I am driven by human development. I love growth. I used to say I'm an extremist. I realized the definition of that might not actually match what I am, but
yeah.
Meaning I like to live life on a scale of 11 out of 10 with everything I do, even my thought patterns, and my experiences in life have given me insight on things that I am just so open to sharing now and sharing with other people, because after going through my experiences, I would have these long periods of times where I understand and break it down and try to digest what has happened.
Yeah.
And then I've understood it to such a level that my communication on it my articulation of what's happened is incredible now. So I have back-to-back scenarios where I have people that I can get out of situations that I've been through.
Okay.
So I have this like pay it forward now mentality lifestyle where I do my Elite Speakers Academies or my Reborn experiential seminars. I have all these vessels where I have people that have gone through something similar I've gone through, and I love sharing with them the insight of how I did it or how I got out, which is, I believe, the sole purpose of obviously every single human being that lives in some way, shape, or form, to pass it forward, some type of information, knowledge, or teaching. So in terms of who I am, I love to speak. I love connecting with people. I'm such a people person.
Yeah, for sure.
I love people a lot. So I love this being able to talk with Grant and share with you guys as well. And I love events. Man, I love putting on good events. That's one of my favorite things too.
So you get a hi when you go on stage?
Yes.
When Armin walked in, he's literally, hi everybody, how's it going and meeting everybody. So he's definitely a people person.
Yeah.
So we actually have a very similar start. which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Life-altering experiences. You went through network marketing, which actually got your kick into where you're going in a direction. That's interesting. Why don't we talk a little bit about
that?
Yeah.
It's funny, actually. No one's. I don't think I've gone into my background from where I came from. I think I started with. Most people know at like 17, I started my entrepreneurial path. Really, when I was 15, I got my first ever door-to-door sales job. I didn't even tell you this. I worked for Toronto Star. It was door-to-door subscriptions. Man, I was hustling.
Natural hustler.
It was a tough time in my life, and I had to do something. And it was the sketchiest thing ever. I mean, if we have time, I can share that story. It's such a
Go ahead.
All right, we're gonna share a story. So it was at a time where I just really wanted to start owning up, making my own money, and really contributing back to my family. So I'm 15 years old. I have no idea what entrepreneurship is. I don't know what sales is. I just know that if you give me an opportunity, I'll do it. That's all I knew. And I guess that's the first insight to knowing that you are an entrepreneur, just understanding that you're willing to do whatever it takes. I saw Grant Cardone in your office. I studied through his Grant Cardone University, incredible teacher. And it really is whatever it takes. It's not just salespeople mentality, but entrepreneurial, I think, a leadership mentality.
For sure.
So I'm 15 and I'm like, I got to do something. So I'm on Kijiji, right? And I'm going through all these websites. Kijiji.com or .ca. And I'm going through all these student jobs. And it's summertime. And I end up finding this job description. Make anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a week. You ever seen those?
Yeah.
Meet up at Food Basics nearby, get into a van, and get trained for free, and then make $500 to $1,000 a week. So I'm reading this, right? I'm reading this. I'm like, it sounds legit. Let's do it. Yeah.
That seems legit. Meet at Sobeys, get into a van.
I'm like, meet at a grocery store, get into a guy's van. Why not? My brother thought I was crazy. Like, what are you doing? You don't need to do this. And I said, just let me do this. Let me do this one thing that I decided to do and take ownership. And maybe it wasn't the smartest. I mean, honestly, it's like a fine line between me actually getting into a lot of trouble from making such a rash decision. But I ended up going there. It wasn't that bad. Now, it was funny. I'm in food basics. I'm outside, right? And I'm like 15. I'm like, okay, my first day on the job. This is my first ever anything. I've never done anything other than this. And a silver Dodge Caravan shows up. How much more creepy can you get?
Sounds like a pedophile event.
A silver Dodge Caravan shows up. And this random guy, now for privacy purposes, random guy came out, really looked creepy. I mean, he did look like a middle-aged man that would be up to no good. And he opens the van door. He's like, oh, hey, Armin. I'm like, hey. And he's like, yeah, no problem. My mom's watching me from the car, just to make sure I don't get kidnapped. They open the door. There's like 4 other 16-year-old kids in there. I'm sitting there like, should I still do this? So I hop in the car. And he's like, it's a newspaper job. You just go door to door. You sign up subscriptions. You get paid $14 a subscription. I thought, $14 a subscription? How the hell are you making $500 to $1,000 a week? And then I realized the hours are incredible. I used to get out of school Monday to Friday and go from 5 to 9. So right out of school, went 5 to 9 to work. Saturdays and Sundays, I'd work from 10 to 6. And only on the weekends, he'll actually buy us food. So I was working 7 days a week at 15 years old. I did this for 3 months. And I slowly started, I caught on. They teach you the script. You go door to door. Some people are like, I don't want to buy a newspaper. Here's $20. Just go on with your day. I'm like, oh, great. Thanks. No problem. Cash business. And I did this for 3 months. And I started to accumulate anywhere from $180 to $360 a week.
Nice.
Now, it didn't match what the ad said, but it was a lot of money for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
15 years old.
15, okay.
I still don't know where that money went. I think I just bought a bunch of pizza. But I did. I remember I gave money to my mom for her birthday, help with the bills. Like, I did that a couple times, but I just honestly, I had no saving habits at all. I wish I did. I probably literally spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars just in my teens. So that was my first ever exposure to entrepreneurship, learning sales. And I got out of that because I'm like, oh, God, I didn't like the environment. So at 15, at that time, I was still conscious enough to realize I don't care what I'm making. I don't want to become something I'm not. And it was, I had severe back pain. I walked a lot. I worked in rain. It was bad. But I did whatever it took. That's the point of the story. So that's a funny, creepy story of my first job.
It definitely taught you work ethic too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And from there, I know this will be the second time if I
There
do
you
that.
go.
Last week I
We're
did
gonna
the
put
same
this up
thing, right? I know you were going from there. You said you got into network marketing.
Yes. So I was 15 and I did that. And then fast forward, and at 16, I started, I love music. So I learned how to produce on my own. I can beatbox, rap, sing, do a bunch of stuff. Now, I wouldn't say great. I'm decent. People say I'm really good at rapping. Some people say I'm really good at singing. I just love it. I don't care really how good I am. I know I'm not the best, but I learned how to do the production side of it. So at 16, I started my own studio in my basement.
Okay.
So I started doing $20 an hour for recording. And I learned how to put some, some gunshots and some sounds in the background of a couple of rappers in my high school. And I put them on tracks. I learned how to just record it. I think, mixed it. And it sounded good enough for them to be like, yeah, here's $40 for the 2 hours of recording. And they really felt cool. And I'm like, just don't tell anyone I made the track for you, and we're good. I have business. You have fame. Let's do this. I did that for a good couple of months. I think I even sold a beat for like $115 to a girl. And so I was trying that out. I didn't know what business was. I was just doing anything that I love, and it was fun to me, and I made money. Yeah, so then I'm like, I got to start to do something that makes more money. So I thought, but in music, because I like music. I'm like, I got to learn how to DJ. So I started to learn how to DJ. Now, the story on how I made the money, the $360 to get my first ever DJ mixer, that is a story in itself. In a 1 week span, I took, I think, a BlackBerry phone and I dissected it into, not literally, but I dissected all the parts of it that's valuable. And I think I hustled, like I did swap trades and sold separately. And out of a $110 BlackBerry that I bought, I made $340.
Wow. Okay.
Just from the SIM card and the plan that was everything. I switched it with a PSP Go, and then I sold that for more. And I remember telling my mom, I'm like, watch, I'm gonna take this phone, I'm gonna make all the money to go buy this mixer in 1 week. Next Saturday, it was a Saturday, I remember. I'm like, next Saturday I'll have it. I swear, Friday night I had the money. I did my last sale. Nice. So that was, and I got the mixer. I started to do DJing. I made my money back quick, and then and that's when I moved. I used to live in Scarborough, and then I moved to Newmarket. I moved north. Super different, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I went there, and I reset, and then that's when I got my first ever job. I worked at Fairweather, I believe, or Stockholm, with 6 other girls. Sounds like a dream. It's not. It's really not. I was the only guy there, and anytime I talked to anyone, my manager thought I was flirting, which I was not. I'm just a nice guy. 6 girls, high maintenance. I'm the tallest one in the place, so I had to clean all the top shelves. So, and I'm like, this. Eventually, after 4 months, I'm like, this isn't working. The math doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm selling $1,200 worth of clothing in one day, and I'm getting paid like $72 after tax.
Yeah, who's benefiting?
Yeah, I'm like, the girl worked the same amount of hours, got the same amount of money. This is no way fair. And I had no conscious understanding of this. I just got that it doesn't make sense. And in that job, I was prospected. So now I realize that was just to set me up at the right place at the right time to meet the right person. A cute little old man. If he ever watches this, this might come off, insulting. I don't think it's insulting. I mean it from my heart. But you know the movie like Up? Yeah. Kind of like a man like that. Just the cutest little old man walks into the store. His name was Don. He's amazing. To this day, I owe him so much because it started everything. And he's like, hey, you're a sharp salesman. And I'm like, thank you. I know. I sell so much clothes. I should be. Mm-hmm. And he says, I want you to work with my company. I'm like, what's your company called? It's like Amway. I said, what's Amway? And he goes, it's network marketing. I'm like, what's network marketing? And he goes, you know that thing where you get people and you build teams? And I'm like, no, I don't. It sounds exciting. Let's do it. Like, what is this? And he gave me the option to drive me home after work. Creepy thing again, right? I have this theme of creepy people.
And you went for it, right?
Of course I did.
Sat down at a coffee shop.
Well, exactly what he said. He's like, oh, don't worry, this is my business. I'm like, I don't know you that well, Don. He goes, oh, here's my card. If you change your mind, come. So I already made up my mind, and I go up to my manager, and I say, this is this guy's card. It was 6:30 at the time when it was closing, and I'm like, if I don't show up to work tomorrow, call the police. Now I was being dramatic.
Smarter this time.
Yeah, I was a little smarter, right? And she's like, "You're crazy if you get in that car with him, Armin." And I looked at him. I looked at her and I said, I walked away. And I got into his car. You know, I'm like going. He has another one, Dodge Caravan, not the same one. It's an older type, so it's a little bit creepier. Dodge Caravan silver as well. And you know, I'm walking by with my phone, and I walk by the license plate, take a screenshot. I'm being like super like CIA, to make sure you know he can't mess with me. And I'm like, he's an old man. I mean, he can't hurt me. I'll probably flip him upside down if I really need to. So I didn't feel too endangered. I get in his car. He has like a bunch of kids' toys. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Normal guy. There's nothing sketchy. I was hoping. You know, it could have been staged. We show up at a second cup. He brings out his iPad. Now, Amway representatives are very well trained, very professional, very systematic. That's what I learned about them, and that's what I learned from them. He sat me down with an iPad, and in the iPad, he had this presentation. It was incredible. Incredible presentation. I was halfway through. I'm like, wow. Like, out loud. He's doing it to me. I'm like, wow. And he's looking at me. He bought me coffee. I'm like, this is so noble. I'm just drinking. I don't even drink coffee. I was drinking coffee. I'm 17. I'm like, wow. That's me the entire time. Because he's teaching me the cash flow quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. Oh, imagine, I'm 17. I've been hustling for like 2 years of my life, doing whatever it takes to do whatever to make money. And I had no idea this simple fundamental of what money is. And I learned it, and I'm like, done. I understand money. And I'm like, I opted out. I'm like, I can't work at this job anymore. So that led to one thing to another. I quit that job a couple weeks after, and I did Amway. I did it the old-fashioned way, coffee meetings. I still do it like that, you know, even my own business. I'm like, let's meet up.
That's the basic principles. And if you guys, any Amway representatives that are out there, you're like a dream to them right now. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out more about Armin's story and how his life-changing experience actually shaped where he is today. Hey guys, Grant here from Care 101 Media Group, and this is an outreach video going out to everybody with a request for assistance on your part. As you guys know, there's a lot of devastation that happened in the islands because of Hurricane Irma. There are families that are hugely displaced. Some islands are over 95% inhabitable, and people are reaching out to us, asking us where they can either give products or aid or finances, and at the time we didn't know where to go.
So in order to aid in relief efforts, Care 101 Media Group has started up a GoFundMe page where the community can now go and help submit donations in order to help rebuild the infrastructure that's been damaged due to Hurricane Irma. So, you know, going to the page, donating like at least $5, $10, even $50 isn't very much, but it will help, you know, our Caribbean brothers, sisters, families, friends in helping rebuild their homes.
There's also a call for certain donation items as well, which are personal hygiene products they're looking for. They're requesting things like baby diapers, baby food, clothing, things like toiletry, personal hygiene products, garbage bags, disinfectants, so that they can help with the cleanup. So at our office at 55 Rutherford Road South, Unit 205 in Brampton, we are set up to receive your donations there. So instead, you know, if you'd like to donate some items versus donating money, please come on over to the office here in Brampton. We'd be more than happy to accept your donations. We will be getting it together in about 2 weeks, and I believe the date would be September 21st that we'd like to turn the items over to the Consulate General Office for Antigua, where they'll be shipping it down to Barbuda for distribution there.
Now keep in mind too that as much as it's nice to give toiletry products and stuff like this, they also have to try and get it down there. But a lot of these islands have been so hugely devastated that they need money to rebuild and get supplies and stuff like that. So we're kindly asking that if you can please, if it's $5, $10, $15, $20, please donate, because that's what they need the most. They need to start rebuilding their infrastructure, rebuilding homes, and creating shelters for these people that are displaced. So again, if you can help, we greatly appreciate it. It's perfect here where we are right now, and we can only imagine what families are going through, not having homes, losing all their possessions, and literally not having anything that they know as home around them. Welcome back to The Gloves Are Off. And I always say the best conversations actually happen when we're on break. It's probably the most real conversations because it's unscripted and the camera's off so you can be yourselves. So anyways, if you're just tuning in, we're here with Armin Shafee, who is the founder. I gotta look where you are now.
It's all right.
Founder of the Elite Speakers Academy. He's got a crazy story, and we were just getting into it just before break. He was talking about his experience with Amway and how he got into sales and marketing. I have to say, my background started in Amway as well.
Nice.
And when I was 18, my heroes were always the big diamonds, all these business people, and it kind of shaped where I was going. And it sounds like it did the same thing for you. Where did you go from there?
So when I went into Amway, I like to think I take a valuable milestone out of every part of my life. There's not one part of my life, which is the secret to the fulfilled life when we start talking about my Reborn story, that I regret. There's not one part that I regret or any resentment I have towards anyone or anything. And for that reason, that mindset I have, no matter what I do or what I go through, I always find the one thing at the very least that was beneficial about it. So with Amway, I didn't profit out of my investment, but
you still profited.
Exactly. The education I got, the system I got, it turned me from boy to man.
Yes.
I was in there for 4 months, and it turned me from boy to man. I started to realize that maybe the people I hang around with aren't going to help me get the dreams that I want. Maybe, and it was almost like a filtration system. So when I was there, a lot of the friends I did hang with, and nothing against them, it's just we weren't on the same level, not same level, same page in terms of what we want. So the moment I realized that, we kind of just separated, like, very gradually, and just, yeah, okay, no problem. I do this, you do that, do your thing. And it wasn't bad at all. It was just, I went psycho, by the way. I think I didn't tell you guys. When I was in Amway and the next company I went to, I was the guy in the high school that everybody ran from.
Really?
Yeah, so I was so excited. I think I ran, this is the next company I went to. So from Amway, I went to another company. It's a nutrition company I worked with. And that's where I really found my passion to speak, to start speaking, inspiring youth, and it was incredible. And I think I was showed the opportunity on a Sunday. And on the Thursday, there was this promotion happening where if you, like, enroll 3 of your friends, you get, like, an extra bonus of money. And it was a lot of money. It was like $1,000 or something. So I said, oh, my God, I got to hit this. I have until Thursday. I have 5 days. I have to do this. Sunday, I get shown the opportunity. I don't sleep until Monday. I'm in my bed until 4 in the morning. I can't close my eyes. I'm sitting there looking at the ceiling, just thinking of all the people I'm going to talk to. And I'm 4 in the morning. I can't sleep. I jump out of my bed, and I grab a piece of paper, I grab a pen, and I write down 100 names of people I want to talk to. 100. I did not stop. Anyone I could think of. And there was a lot of people.
Well, who couldn't use energy drinks?
Oh,
especially if you're in high school.
At the time as well, and it was like a healthy energy drink. I mean, the company's name was Vima, and they had like a roller coaster of media and whatever happened. But when I started, it was very much at a peak, and I was fortunate. The company is one thing, but my team that I was a part of was very helpful. So the team culture that was built in the group I was in was incredible. I learned more from that than I did from just the opportunity of the business. So there's so many network marketing companies, but if you're not a part of the right team, then you're not going to get trained well. And if you don't get trained well, it won't duplicate. You won't learn. Leaders don't grow. And that's what I've taken out of my network marketing experiences in my businesses now, where I do my Elite Speakers Academy, my Reborn experiential seminars, I do my training and my coaching. I think of how do I duplicate? How do I make leaders, not become the leader only? Yes. That's the main concepts I learned from network marketing, and also understanding how to create system. So the 2 things I learned from those experiences, and that's not the only companies I tried. I tried so many companies in the network marketing industry. And the common denominator with every successful leader in there was system and duplication.
Yep.
And the system was duplication. But if you didn't have a system of training and you didn't focus on duplicating instead of focusing on being the star but creating the stars, you wouldn't grow. So that's what I failed at in that business and what I succeeded in mine now. But at the time, I learned about it Sunday. I didn't sleep till Monday. I show up at my school, no sleep. I look like a crazy person because I'm thinking of all the commissions we're about to make and all the people I'm serious. I was like full-on salesperson. I'm rich in my mind. I go there. There's this massive hall in my school, and everybody sits on the edge of the hall. It's like this wide hall, and it's where everybody sits, eats, does whatever. So everyone's there. I'm sitting there. I'm literally talking to anyone I can talk to. All my friends first, and then my friends are like going and spreading the word. Here's literally what I was saying. This is not smart. I don't recommend this. I'm going up to people like, do you want to make $700 a week?
In high school.
In high school. These kids are making, with me, they were making like $800 a month. That was my income at most at my job. I'm like, you want to make $700 a week? And people are like, oh my God, yeah, sure, why not? It was like, I was fresh in the market. It was a new market, truly. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
There you go.
I got it.
So I was in the hall, and now I have these kids, like, they're bringing people to me. Are you the one talking about $700 a week? I lit the hall on fire. Every single person got invited to my house.
So did you get kicked out of school?
No.
But really,
I filtered myself out of it. I didn't want to show up anymore. I almost actually failed high school. But that's another story. But to finish, I invited like, I think 100 kids to my house on the Wednesday night, right the day before we go into the actual, the Thursday end of sale. And 34 people showed up at my house for my first ever event. Now, in the tradition of network marketing, that's odd. That's rare. In my team, the person that showed me the opportunity is like, 34 people in your house? How the hell did you do this? I offered free pizza. I brought a ton of the drinks. I said, come to my house. It's going to be fun. You're going to learn something. There's this kid who's doing this and driving this. And I was just, it was a lot of hype. And now I understand, like at the time, I get why people were turned off. I would never market that way. I don't. But at that time, I was just excited. I didn't know how to communicate it. I got 34 kids in there. Nobody signed up. Nobody signed up. Guess how I felt? I did not care.
Yeah.
I was like, this is still happening. It does not matter. 34 people in my house, no problem. Everyone missed out. Don't worry. Next. And no one taught me this stuff. I was just so hell-bent on succeeding. I didn't care. So I was worried. I'm like, why didn't anyone? I'm like, what's wrong with people at the time, right? But nobody signed up. I didn't take it to heart. I just decided that if they didn't see what I saw, so we're not friends. Such an extreme mentality. I would never encourage that now, the mindset of that. I mean, to some extent, Grant, right? To some extent, you don't want anyone in your circle, but I was like cutting off good people just because I'm like, if you're not with me, then get out of my way.
You're against me.
Exactly. So it's
isn't that the military?
Right. But at the time, like I said, I was very like boom, boom, boom. And the next day I had 7 people in my house and 3 people signed up. So I hit my goal, made $1,000. And then from there, just momentum for about 6 weeks. And then it kind of fizzled out because I forgot to duplicate. I didn't know how to duplicate. I was so bent on like, I got to sell. But nobody was as good as me, which was my biggest flaw. And that's what I learned going through my experiences from that point till now, where I'm like, I'm not the star. There are people that are learning that could take my spot. And now I'm more encouraging of replacing myself, making the person who's going to change the world instead of being the one who does. But by default, you either become a factor of that or you do become it because people love you for that reason, because you give. So that
so
quite
let's
experience in my life.
Talk about now how this life-changing event actually took everything that you currently went through and now you've applied it to what you're doing now. How did that shift?
So I did a ton of sales after that. Okay. I tried anything at that point. I did sales, door-to-door, telemarketing, lead generation, network marketing, anything you can think of. And I did that until I was 18. So it just almost until I was about 19. So about a year and a half. And I finally got a job where I was making good money, and it was sales. And I was making, the most I was making in a month. But the people I was with, and nothing against them, the habits they had I didn't want. So I did that job for about 2 months, and then one night going home, it was the night where I got promoted to becoming the sales leader of the team. So I got the most sales, and I became the team leader. And I made the most money I've ever made in 2 weeks. And that was like the best day of my life. I went and partied and did a bunch of stuff that day. And I'm driving home at 3 a.m. And I fell asleep behind my wheel. 3:03 a.m. It's cold. It's winter. It's December 22nd, right? Literally Christmas Eve. And I'm driving home, and I drive my car into a utility pole, a thick wooden one. Now, if it was metal, it would have cut through my car. I would have died. Because it was wooden, it bounced. Right? It was a little shock absorption. And my car spun and hit a fire hydrant, and then I landed on the edge of a hill going down into a parking lot. If I had a passenger, they would have been dead. I literally say this word for word in my speech as well, the Reborn speech I do, that I'm performing at Dynamo on November 9th. That was like a little seed, but I'm just saying.
It's good.
From
Make sure
James
you
Ert.
attend.
Yeah, if you guys want to come, James Ert, like speakers competition. So I'm performing there. It's an award-winning speech for that. And when I got out of the car, I'm like, oh my God, like, thank you. You know, at that time, I didn't really talk to God much, but I'm like, I'm here. Thank you so much. I mean, I should be here for a reason.
Were you injured at all?
I had broken fingers, and I didn't feel it until after. And
Well,
I
your
had
adrenaline's going
yes,
through, right?
and I had bruised rib cage. I was fine other than that. So it was literally a blessing. It was a miracle. I should have not been here, but I came out. And when I came out of it, I that night it hit me when I got home. It was like 4 or 5 a.m. and I couldn't sleep, and I just started bawling my eyes out. I thought I almost died. And then, you know, the images and the thoughts of my family being at a funeral and my friends crying, it killed me. I couldn't handle it. My body was in shock. I was like, oh my God, if I died, what would have happened? And I listened to a Tony Robbins audio to soothe me down. That night I listened to, it's called Purpose by him. It has the lion's picture on YouTube. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. It's called Purpose. He talks about what's the meaning of life. And I listened to it and I'm like, God, this guy, like, it really helped me. And I woke up the next day. I went straight back to the office, and I still took it as a leadership opportunity. I went on like my first day as a team leader. I have a cast on my hand. I walk in. I'm like, I almost died last night, and I'm still early. Don't be late. That was me. Serious. I'm serious. And I worked there for a little bit longer, like a week or so, and then I'm like, I can't do this. I quit that job, and after that crash, I'm like, I can't become this person because it was a sign. It was life saying, get out. So I quit that job, and then I went into a next phase, which we can talk about after the break.
He knows the system now. Just quickly before we do go to break, how old were you when this happened?
I was 18 when I almost died.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out where it went.
Yeah.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back to The Gloves Are Off. We are here with Armin Shafee. Shafi.
There you go.
See, I told you I'd screw up one time. The Gloves Are Off wouldn't be The Gloves Are Off if I didn't mess a name up at least once. So we're here with Armin Shafee, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. And he is actually going through his story. He's gone from learning the technique of sales from a young age. I find that everybody's story is always very similar. If you're an entrepreneur at heart, you really are an entrepreneur at heart. You don't need that training. You just get things that ignite it, and you don't even realize what you're doing. So we went from where he came from. Now he went through a life-changing event where he almost died, went in the next day, looked at everybody and said, listen, I almost died yesterday, so you guys got no excuses.
Yeah.
And you quit your job.
Yes.
Shortly after?
Yes. Yeah, so when I came out of it, I just, I think it was a month later, I thought, I can't do this. You know,
Yeah. Now, is it just because of what was happening there? Was it morally wrong?
It was, well, to be specific, I was smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. I was smoking cigarettes because it's not nothing against the people I was hanging with. I actually adore them. They were the most funnest guys I ever hung out with. In fact, when I was around 15 years old at the time, they were like the people I aspired to hang out with. They were like the cool guys, right? And it was just funny how the universe brought me back 3 years later, and now I'm in their circle, but I'm working with them. And so I was meeting these people that I always looked at from afar when I was really young, and I idolized them to some extent. So now I'm with them. And I realized the habits that we were taking on it was very detrimental to our health. We were smoking cigarettes, they were doing other stuff. I occasionally tried it, and I'm being very open with everyone because your environment is more powerful than your willpower. That is just fact. So it didn't matter how optimistic I was, how much of a leader I was inside, which I was, because I came from the network marketing, personal development background. Here I am going to work doing sales with people who've never been through that. And I should have this like strength or this willpower. Like I've been through it. I've listened to Les Brown. You know, it's not over until I win, and I won't do bad things. But my environment changed me, and I was going to work every day with these guys, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. But I picked up habits that were detrimental to my health and mindsets, like belief systems. You know, the way I lived my life, the way I treated people. It started to just turn to something I didn't want. So I'm like, and here's the line. This is the quote, the Armin Shafee quote of the Gloves Are Off show, and something I say all the time, which I'm firmly behind, which is it's not about how much money you make. It's about how you make it. And I always give this example. You can make a lot of money doing a lot of things. Money's not hard to make.
Absolutely. It's
hard to make great money in things you don't like to do. It's super easy to make money doing things you like to do. Super easy. Bob Proctor says that. Bob Proctor says it's hard to make a little bit of money, but it's really easy to make a lot. And it's because it's the shift of understanding how you're making the money now. It's so important. You charge $25,000 to do a keynote speech, or you make $25,000 a year working hourly. It's the same amount of money, different way to make it. So the how is so important. What I focus on the how part is who you're becoming as you make it. So I've had multiple people come through my company. I've had my company for over about 14 months now. It's Sales N. We're a digital marketing agency by heart. That's the core of it. Sales and marketing, branding, sales automation. It's awesome. I love it, and I'm good at it. And that's the company that I'm the CEO of. And when I started that, I had tons of people come in and out of the company, right? And I had all these people come and young entrepreneurs. I'm like, okay, you got this, but their drive was not as strong as mine, so they didn't stay. And some of them almost did, but they got distracted. So they'll have something else come up. Oh, I'm just going to try this thing on the side. And I would distinctly tell every single one of them, be careful. You become how you make money. You become it. If you're making your full-time income, like your primary source of income is coming from whatever it is, that thing becomes you. It might be a side income. That's fine. You don't become a real estate investor just because you have a house and you're making some rent. But if your full-time income is coming from houses, you're an investor now. That is your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is directly affected by how you're making most of your money. So anytime I'm like, what's your goal? Like, if you're here with me, you're going to build this business with me. If not, and you get distracted, you'll either leave or you won't be able to do anyone really well. So time and time again, I was unfortunately right about it. And all these people, they're like, still haven't moved that far up. Now, some of them have done well, but some of them, it's almost like they never grew from the place I.
But do you find too, if they're trying to do things on the side, it's almost like it's not focused on one thing too. Yeah. So because they're all over the place, they're not master of one thing.
Exactly. And you could be a master of multiple things, but just master one first.
Yeah.
Like, you could become an incredible investor and then an incredible, speaker, then an incredible author. You can't do all three at the same time and be incredible.
And master them. Yeah.
Exactly. You do one at a time. Martial arts is a perfect example of this. You learn first boxing, then kickboxing, then jiu-jitsu. You don't learn all of it at once. And the ones who teach all of it at once have a hard time mastering.
Well, black belt too is master of basics, right?
Exactly. And if you did karate first, then, I do kung fu in the mornings. So I have an instructor. We do one-on-one training. And I literally go through the same block, kick, punch, and stretch techniques until I get so good at it. Then they can move to me to Tai Chi, for example. So it's like you got to master one at a time. Business is the exact same thing. So when I came out of that, I'm like, I can't become this person making money like this. I don't care how much I make. Because I saw the end of the road, and this is a really good question I always ask people. You could ask yourself this, by the way. It will really help give you clarity in what you're doing with your life. If you were to make $1 million no matter what you did, so imagine you could become an investor and be a millionaire. You could be a mortgage broker and be a millionaire. You could be a network marketer and be a millionaire, or you could be a speaker and be a millionaire. Imagine anything you chose, you will become a millionaire anyways. And now think not of the money, because it's guaranteed you're making $1 million doing it. Now think of what is the lifestyle that you want to choose as a millionaire. Your lifestyle as a real estate agent is very different at $1 million than your lifestyle as a barbershop business owner or a food chain restaurant owner. You're so different, same amount of income. So you look at that, now it's easy to be clear about what you want. Most people have lack of clarity. I was one of those people. And I believe that your weaknesses become your ultimate strengths in life.
Yeah.
That's that ironic thing about life. So I was always not focused, jumping thing to thing, not disciplined, not certain about what I want. Now I'm like, certain, disciplined, know what I want. And I help people get to that, which is so ironic. It's like I'm the last guy you should have listened to.
So let me ask you something, because you're talking about this. And one of the things that I always find with millennials and the younger generation is the now generation.
Yeah.
And a lot of people misinterpret millennials thinking that they're either lazy or they want everything now. You being such a young entrepreneur, CEO, what are your thoughts? Because you are teaching people. You obviously teach them that things take time. You have to focus and master the basics.
Yeah.
What are some of your thoughts on that?
So I'll
You
tell you
got
this.
thoughts that you don't want to say, right?
Well, it's so many thoughts, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the system. I'll tell you how I cured myself of it.
Sure.
Is that cool? I needed excitement. So I had more drive in the beginning of things because it was exciting to start them than when I had to continuously do it. Now, character, when I studied, I continuously study personal development. So character, one of the things I learned is your ability to still do what you said you would long after the emotions are gone. Mm-hmm. I did not have that. I only had the excitement, and I was really good, by the way, with kickstarting things. Just did not want to continue them. So how I stopped that. Now, this is how I did it. It's not the most easy thing you could do. But I started a corporation with a business partner who was very opposite. And I got very lucky for that. I was affiliated with an incredible, extraordinary group of people that I grew up with. Like last year, we technically raised each other in business. We taught each other so much. We got mentored by each other. We did like weekly activities. I studied Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies. I did executives of the week. We would study like Mark Zuckerberg, Travis Kalanick. We'd study so many of these tech startups, then these Henry Fords. And we would study them, take their principles, and ingrain them into ourselves. And because of that, I started this corporation that is now, you can't jump. It's a corporation. You got to file taxes. You got a name out there. It's like giving birth to a baby. It's not just an idea anymore. It's real. And to me, weirdly enough, that having the certificate of article of incorporation was my groundedness. It was weird. I'm like, okay, no matter what I try now, it has to go through this company, and the company has to succeed because I'm a father of a child now. Mm-hmm. So that really grounded me. This is the longest time I've ever done anything. 15 months I've owned this company. Co-owned it, co-founded, and now I run it. It's the longest thing I've ever done consecutively, but because I had the company. If I did not, and it was all under just me doing anything, it would have looked like I was jumping thing to thing. Because my company tried a lot of things. We tried doing virtual offices. We tried doing automotive. We tried things, but it's a company. Company's still one outcome. Make the company successful. Yeah. It's just adjustments anymore. It's not jumping. And eventually we went from sales and marketing to the niche of digital marketing for speakers, authors, trainers, and coaches, which is where I'm at now and what we do specifically. Blueprint sessions, sales funnels, automation branding for speakers, authors, trainers, and coaches. Why did I choose that niche? I'm in it. I love it. I understand it. And the people I've trained that work in my team when we do the marketing for, we get it. So now it's like it was a 15-month process. And just about 5 or 6 months ago, we really honed in. But that's how I stopped going thing to thing. I attached myself to something that I can't just jump from, right? So the mind is very powerful. Even 6 months into it, I'm like, oh, what if this doesn't work? I could just jump to the next thing. And I'm like, the partner I had, it was hard. I had this thing called FOMO, the fear of missing out. And every single time my mind said, oh, just go to this next thing. You know, you can make millions of dollars in that by yourself. Because it was an ego shift as well. I had to work with someone. every single time, this guy was so good at just FOMOing me. I'm like, God, if I miss out on him, like he's going to be like the next Warren Buffett. I'm serious. This guy is incredible. So because of him, I kept sticking. I'm like, oh, it doesn't make sense to stay. I can make more money somewhere else, but I stuck. And eventually it paid off to the point where now I'm like, thank God I stayed. I could have been a multi-millionaire in sales somewhere I didn't like. But he really helped me stay grounded. So people, proximity will help you with my millennial friends and Generation Zs. Proximity. Change your environment to be around people that won't allow you to have these bad habits, to keep doing what you do. Find out a way to attach yourself, marry yourself to something that isn't changeable. Like not starting a corp. That's not the most practical thing to do. I mean, there's filing taxes. It's incredibly expensive. But if you do something, a public announcement, a partnership that you know you can't leave, it'll work. Those two things I think really help me. Those two things. And the constant consecutive awareness that I can't jump, that I have to get past the BS, build my character, which is what I did now. And that's really how I got to where I am.
And basically being accountable.
Yes.
Right.
Self-accountable and partner accountable.
So why don't you tell us, why don't we save it till after break?
So
We're gonna
much.
take a last break and we'll be right back.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Welcome back to The Gloves Are Off, and we are here with Armin Shafee, who is I gotta remember this. He is the founder of Elite Speakers Academy. So, Armin, before we were going to break, I was going to ask you, and then I realized our timing. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what services your company offers?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I took off my blazer. It was nice and hot in here because we're just heating it up.
It's Chelsea's fault. She likes it really warm.
God. Chelsea. I think the conversation is heating up so much.
Yeah.
It's just, we're starting to sweat.
Armin's on fire.
Oh, man. We're both on fire right now. So, yeah, pleasure and honor that everyone's listening, and I'm hoping that we're adding some value to your lives right now. In terms of the services, just to understand why I came into the services, after my crash, after being reborn, really, because I transitioned, I went through this 8-month confusion period where I was, like, minorly depressed, trying to figure out myself, and I learned about thought mechanics and, like, thought patterns, and I studied human psychology. I wanted to change my habits, so I started to study stuff Tony Robbins does and learning from like the best in the world, and I ended up manifesting an opportunity, law of attraction type stuff I studied, to go to Vancouver for about 4 months. It changed my entire life. I went there, I lived there on my own, moved away from my family. I changed everything around. That's where I got trained under Grant Cardone University, and I really shifted my financial perspective around, and that's where I met the people that I said I partnered with.
Okay.
So when I came back, we started the sales and marketing firm, and at first we were focused on how do we market to and social media to millennials and Generation Z. And that's where we started for big companies. We worked with $2 million companies, and both of them we did the branding for, and we helped product development to get the millennials' attention. Then after that, I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, my first ever transformation seminar. So I'm 8 months into my business, and I'm like, I become this successful entrepreneur, right? And I lose passion again, but I'm doing well. And I go to this seminar, and it ignited something in me. I have no idea how this industry worked at the time. I had no idea it existed. I just thought Tony Robbins was a motivator. And now here I am. He's doing all the science and all the stuff on us in the seminar. I'm like, this is serious stuff. So I came back with an obsession to learn what he does. I really took it to the next level, and I studied everything from he studied from his mentors, their mentors. I understood the area of changing people's patterns. And that's when I started my own seminar business, Reborn. And I started to do the marketing I did for myself. Then I hired a business coach, and I learned the digital side of marketing, not just branding, but I learned sales funnels, and I learned how to build my email list and all the things that are so essential. I realized that without it, I was really just running around, my head cut off. Like, I didn't know how to, I was doing something called hope marketing. Okay. You know, I would put up events and put up programs and be like, I hope you guys show up.
I hope you guys show up.
Hope marketing. Like, stop hope marketing for all my entrepreneurs. Learn the strategies, the systems. That I'm gonna be talking more about this on a podcast I have coming up called Clear Talk. I'm about to launch it. I'm excited, and it's essentially going to be the #1 show for entrepreneurs who need clarity. Anywhere from marketing clarity, anywhere from branding clarity, from self clarity. They need to understand who they are, why they're doing it, who is the people they're trying to serve, what's the problem they're trying to solve. There are so many things that I can talk about that I honestly already do, just not on a podcast. And I have people who pay me for consulting on their branding, other branding companies. And then I have people sit down with me one-on-one, and I consult them on their businesses. I help them kickstart their business. So I'm like, I should make a podcast and just give it away for free. So if you guys are interested in that, it's called Clear Talk. It's coming out in the next week. And I already have like 60 listeners just from my Facebook saying they would love to listen. So that's incredible. I'm honored. But that's where I'm going to talk more about the sales and marketing, the services, and how really they can take away free value from what I have to give, like Gary Vee style, just a ton of value, no strings attached, and really optimize their business. In my company, we focus on 3 things and 3 things only, personally in-house. Sales funnels, so building the pages that people go through in order to buy or subscribe to you. Branding, which is my ultimate strength. I can sit down in front of any company or influencer and completely redesign or design something out of thin air for them. And it will be like multi-billion-dollar brand type stuff. And my confidence is that it's incredible because I have back-to-back track records of creating cool things. And third is automation, which is a given. Once you learn how to do your online business or even offline business, how do you systematize the business? You don't want to be there forever. You got to decide as an entrepreneur, do I want a job or do I want to build a business? It's very different, but they're both disguised behind your business. And that's the big thing I had to distinguish. So that's the services we do, and we work with primarily right now speakers, authors, trainers, coaches, any type of influencer that's in my industry. I already understand the ropes of it. I work with a man named James McNeil, the Guru Builder. He's sold like $1.2 million off stage. He's like spoken in front of 5,000 to 10,000 people, worked with Success Resources America. He's personally best friends with Les Brown. And for that reason, because I'm his business partner now, we are single-handedly responsible for facilitating the Les Brown Institute Canada, worldwide Canada. Well, you know, in Canada. And for anyone who wants to work as a Les Brown partner, we're the only other people other than Les Brown Institute that can license people. So it's pretty cool kind of being partnered with Les Brown and really helping those influencers get out there and make a career out of speaking and training. So
For sure. So how would your services benefit myself and my company?
Yeah, absolutely. So with when we're talking about TCN Network, right? So you have a lot of influencers coming through here, right? So this is off the dome. We're just making stuff up right now and we're going forward with it. When you have a lot of influencers come in, all of them need to some extent what I have. And I know there's an incredible opportunity, right, Grant, that people come in here and they might be missing that one vital thing that could make them go just really viral. They have the media part of this. Like, for example, I'm just sharing this. I'm going to take this footage and we're going to market it in some way, shape, or form in a promo video, put it as a credibility booster. And because of you, I have this footage now, which is an incredible value to me. So now you have all these people coming through your place and they're getting these videos. They have to learn how to be able to take it and turn it into a converting tool.
Okay.
How do you now put this out in a way where people subscribe to wanting to know more? See, most people will come to your studio and they'll do a show or they'll do a talk, and then they'll be like, okay, here's my show. I hope you guys like it. They have no call to action after. Does that make sense? Absolutely. So there's just so much my company could actually implement to every single person coming through the studio that could really take their business to the next level if they want to either build their list or run an event. There's a lot of things we could do together in terms of digital marketing. It's the new programming of the marketing industry. If I want to walk away with the second quote of this show, sales funnels or building digital marketing is like the equivalent to computer programming, but for marketing. So you think about coding, like websites. This is the new coding for marketing. If you don't know how to do digital marketing, you're 5 steps behind everyone else. So a lot of the influencers coming through here should be learning about it or to some extent have it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. How can our audience maybe benefit from what you're doing?
So if, like I said, I have a niche, right? So in terms of audience, clarity is everything. So my podcast, Clear Talk,
Yep.
I'm going to offer things that even non-entrepreneurs could take. People in jobs or in sales positions that aren't working for themselves yet, but are self-employed in some sense, they can get a lot of value out of there. I would strongly encourage it because I'm going to pour my soul and my heart into Clear Talk. My soul, I'm going to pour it in there and say the things that I would charge a ton of money to do in a consulting session. I'm just going to give it away on Clear Talk. So potentially tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of value in that. So an audience could benefit just from listening to a podcast where you can gain clarity up here. Because once you're out of your head, you can get into your heart. And once you're in your heart, anything is possible. You have clarity with everything you touch. Anything you touch turns to gold. In terms of the influencers, the people I like to work with and I really target in, there's a lot of things I could do. They can contact me. We do 90-minute blueprint sessions with them, just showing them the infrastructure they need to succeed in the speaking world and the training world. And if they wanted to contact me, Facebook's my dome. I love it.
Okay.
It is my place. Facebook. I'm about to launch my website along with my podcast. But I don't like putting people through a second hand or filtration system to get to me. I like the whole authentic, just talk to me on Facebook. And it's just my name, Armin Shafee, Shafee, like taffy, but Shafi. And Armin like Armin Hammer or like Armin Van Buren.
Van Buren, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, if they message me online, I usually respond.
Actually, the one thing I appreciated about when we first got connected on Facebook was the personal touch that you put in with it, with the actual video. Hey, thanks for connecting. You know, if there's any way that I can help you out, please feel free to give me a call.
Absolutely.
You know, that was really good. Okay, so for your podcast, how can they follow it? Is it under Armin? I was gonna say Van Buren now. Armin Shafee, or is it under Clear Talk?
It will be under Clear Talk.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have my name in there. I'm about to launch it, so I set everything up. My podcasts are almost done. I'm finishing up the watermark logo. So when it's up, it'll be up. I have a list. I built a list, obviously, an email list of people who are interested. So they're gonna get an email. If they want to be on that list, they can message me on Facebook. If not, you can go on iTunes and just put in Clear Talk by Armin Shafee, and I'm sure it'll come up in the next 7 days. It'll be in the next four or 5 days max.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And so social media, I know your strengths are Facebook and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's the strongest, but it's there. I'm about to start improving on it. Facebook's like
the thing.
Yeah, it's my thing.
Instagram,
I have a wide following on Instagram, but I've left my beautiful followers behind. I have to get back onto Instagram. I mean,
come on, man.
I have to.
Document versus create, man. Come on.
I will. You're right.
That's awesome. Okay, so Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, all of them are Armin Shafee?
Armin Shafee. Yeah.
Okay.
In Instagram, it's Armin's View.
Armin's View.
Yeah, Armin's View.
Okay.
Just Armin's Views.
So please, guys, make sure that you follow Armin. If any way what he is talking about, his company can offer any type of value for what you're doing, please get in contact with them. What's the phone number to contact you at?
My phone number, we actually have my wonderful director of operations on the side.
If you wonder why I keep looking to the side, there's actually someone else here.
Chief Operating Officer of Sales Zen. Her name is Gisela. What is our office number? 416-477-4196. So that's the number they can call, and either one of us will pick up or one of our other staff, and we can get in contact, set up a meeting. Facebook group chats. That's like our thing.
Okay.
We have group chats with every single person we work with, and it's just the most convenient, most instant reply system we could use. So
there you go. So if you guys are looking to get the edge on what you're doing in business, get in contact with Armin. I'm telling you, he's going places. 10 years from now, you're going to wish that you even talked to this guy, because he's going to be one of those guys like Tony Robbins where you won't even be able to get to talk to him anymore. So get in contact with Armin. It's been an awesome show.
It has been, honestly. It's been an honor. Thank you so much, Graham, for inviting me.
I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the story. We have a lot to talk about.
And by the way, you got to get on the show. This is an incredible setup. So the gloves are off. Graham Browning, you have to message this guy. Be on the show. It's incredible value for your audience if you're an influencer.
Thank you. So I want to thank everybody for coming on, seeing what we're doing. And, of course, if you're on podcasts, if you're listening to this on Stitcher or on iTunes, be sure to subscribe. Leave a review. That's how we get out there. We really appreciate it. Any comments or suggestions, please leave them in either YouTube or Facebook. And please be sure to share it out, and we'll see you guys next week.
Beautiful. Have a great day.